Now, the absent father, is a social structure in the Caribbean for over 400 years.
Right.
People look at it and compare it with America or Europe. And that's a huge mistake. This is not America or Europe. That was born out of affluence. And that was born out of a irresponsibility and a desire for kind of freedom where you have children, but you don't want to take the responsibility for it. What we have is born out of the pain of plantation. And I think we have to understand it's a big, big, big difference. But the matriarchal family and the absent father, if you see it as a social structure for 400 years, it's not going to be redeemed in a generation or two.
Right.
And that's why I use the categorization that I did in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who's turning up, fathering his children, married to the mother of all of his children, and bending his will with his wife to the will of God, is a hero.
Hero. Gotcha.
Because this goes far against the grain mm-hmm. of the culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it takes a heroic energy mm-hmm. to live this consciously.
Right.
And that's why I made the distinctions I did in the beginning. But this culture was intact long before the sexual revolution, long before the television or the current madness that we've been importing from the North, long before Dr. Huxtable or Bert Simpsons were on television that made dads into bumbling idiots. Long before all of that, we had this culture here, and we have to understand why it has been so tough, and we also have to understand why we have to consciously work for the redemption of Caribbean manhood. It has to be a conscious thing.
And this is where society as well as church has to work hand in hand together to bring about that whole culture change. And this is critical. And I know that the Catholic Church and its Family Life Commission and so on are working assiduously on trying to reshape or to change the culture of the Caribbean man and families.
Correct. I want to talk about the other side of our coin, mm-hmm. the East Indian family.
Right.
They came with, and they were a lot better off because they came with everything intact. And they had all of their religion, all of their traditions, all of their everything. They came intact with everything. And yet, even here, we see the struggle for self-possession and arrival, and for wholeness. And it's a sad tale also. V.S. Naipaul, who is one of the greatest writers in the English verse, in his epic work, A House for Mr. Biswath, which is, in my mind, one of his finest works, is an existentialist tale. He chronicles the deep struggle of one East Indian father in his quest for arrival. And he has this beautiful quote. He's speaking to his dog, whose name was Tarzan. Mr. Biswath says, "You are an animal and think that because I have a head and hands and look as I did yesterday, I'm a man. I'm deceiving you. I'm not whole."
Oh, wow. That's some real deep inner thought there.
Yeah. If you understand that in the majority of our culture, the mm-hmm. African and the East Indian, the impairment of the family from very early on is really one of the pains of our civilization.